Hello, it's the Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. As the title will tell you, this video is the third Mark of Excellence video of the Tier 9 British medium tank, the Cobra. Now, this is, I've only recently done a replay in the Cobra, which I'll go into a little bit more depth about the tank. This video obviously is about the third Mark of Excellence. So I decided that, you know what, I'm going to free mark it. And I'm going to free market using Hesh. I think pretty much all the way through, except from a little bit at the beginning and a little bit at the end where I started loading one clip of heat. I pretty much free marked it all using just the Hesh rounds. And to be honest, I actually had a lot of fun playing it. I know the tank has a lot, a very long reload, and it's not the quickest, which on these big maps like Halle Pass sometimes can be a bit of a drag. I did enjoy the meme of the Hesh. I did enjoy those big clips, those funny clips which you often get. And it's quite enjoyable. So we're on Halle Pass. I still don't know if I've figured out this map yet. It seems to just, you turn out to just play only a tiny bit of the map all the time. Massive big map, but it seems to all be in one location. But we're looking for some shots on this atomic, seeing if we can spot anything, which is unlikely because the view range on this tank is pretty trash, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's not going to happen. So now we're hoping that the tanks are actually pushed up a little bit. We may get an opportunity to sneak up onto this ridge and potentially shoot some people in the rear, like this 50T, and we're going to put them in a world of pain. And this is where the fun comes in with that Cobra. 1500 damage straight off the back like that. We probably could have penned that IS-3 actually if we aimed a little better there. But it is what it is. We've got a 4 shots in, we've got 1500 damage, and now we're backing up to try and keep ourselves protected from the fun police while our reload goes on. Because obviously this is before the recent artillery changes, so obviously we don't have that artillery, that helpful artillery new sixth sense. So when the fun polices are aiming on you, which is probably one of the best things about the patch, in my opinion. I really do enjoy that. We're waiting now for our reload to come in. We want to time this just right so we can try and catch this AT-15 unaware. We know we can pen them like this with a 210 Hesh pen. Get 2 in, get 3 in, take them out, and then straight away we've only done 2 clips and we're on 2600 damage. We're looking for another shot, just scanning, see if we can dump this last shot before we go and reload. And we spot this hammer. Again, the hammer we can pen frontally, and we do, putting us on to 3000 damage in our two clips, which is a great start when you go for that third Marks of Excellence. We know now we do one more full pen clip, that's probably enough to make some significant movement on the mark. But we're on the reload, and there's not a lot of places. A lot of times I like to try and push one when the reload to a different location. There's not really anywhere I can go at the moment because I'm sort of trapped between a triangle of tanks. So I'm just sort of scanning the map, looking to see where my next victim will be, and where my next damage is coming from. So I'm hoping I'm trying to get a shot into his hammer here. Unfortunately, just to get shot before I get to put my one in and only pick up like 100 odd damage. We're just going to look to see if we can kill that IS-3, but we suspect it's going to get taken out before we get there. So then we thought we'll check out these 2 tanks around the corner, and as we come around we realise that one of them's on a 1 shot, so they've got no hit points for us, which is not ideal. But we're going to try and finish them off quickly anyway to get our team out of this situation, and then we can go and help deal with the rest of the enemy team on the other side of the map. We go for a side shot in the atomic. We missed the first one, and then most of that second shot gets absorbed in the tracks, and we don't really get a lot of damage out of that scenario. But we do pick up a little bit more, and we still haven't taken any damage in return of this game. And this game's pretty much over, and we're still on full health. So that is always handy when you get to the end, because it does mean I can just sit in front of people, let them shoot me, and then just dish out my damage. Make sure I can fully aim my shot and get my damage out. So we've got this T-54 on the left, but I am suspecting that it's just going to get taken out before I get my reload in. But we're going to aim in just in case. You see he is now down to like 90 hit points. But we do manage to pick up a tiny bit of hit points, and at least we get the kill for our troubles. And there's only 3 tanks remaining now, and we're still full hit points. We're feeling fairly confident. We're just trying to look for the tanks. There's a full health T-54E2, which is obviously an autoloader as well. So we want to try and get over there to see if we can get our shots in. But as we approach, we found this E50. We fluffed that first shot, but we aimed the second shot a bit better, and we do manage to get that in, picking up another shot of damage. And now we're just going to see if we can dump this last clip before we go on to reload. We can't, so we're going to get on reload, lose the 6 cents while we wait for this reload to come in. Now I'm hoping that E50 gets taken out, because really the other heavy tank has the most hit points, so that's where I really want to get my damage in if I can. I'm not poking to spot at the moment, just because one, there's a fun police of the game, so I don't want to risk getting shot, but two, I don't want to spot the other tank straight away because I want to try and get the damage in myself. But they have been lit here on the top right hand side, so we're going to try and push to get our clip in. That's our real target. The only problem for us, we've got this E50 in the left, which is just going to be a nuisance if it's going to be shooting us while we're trying to approach to take out the other heavy tank. So, but we're full health, so we're just going to keep pushing anyway. If he shoots us, we might be able to get a shot in return. But the E50 has poked, is a little bit distracted, and we just managed to squeeze that one in, and then we take a little bit of splash damage off the artillery. Now I'm just looking to get my clip in, because I'm getting pushed by this E2. We get 2 in, we're looking to get our 3rd shot in, and we actually, very fortunate there, managed to set him on fire, putting us on to 5,500 damage, 600 assistance, and there is only one tank left. It's the enemy fun police, and everyone's trying to look for it, but it is a big map, so sometimes it can be a bit of a chore. And at this point, I'm just hoping someone finds it, and they do. The Lancer C gets the prize, and that brings us an end to replay number 1. So let's quickly see how we got on before moving on for the next replay. We got the top gun, we got 6 kills, 5,500 damage. You see there, we got the ace tanker, the high caliber. And yeah, so that's it for replay number 1, but we still have 3 more to come. So I will see you in a bit for the second replay. Okay, so here we are for replay number 2. This time we are on Great Wall Encounter Battle, and unlike the first replay, this one there is quite a few tier 10s in the game, and we have 1 enemy fun police a piece, and I think we only have 1 light tank each, which is always nice and balanced. And I think from this spawn we're going to go into the middle area in the sort of H4 sort of area in that middle side, and see what we can do from there, because from there I have a little bit more flexibility. I can sort of decide to go left and help in the heavy flank if need be, or I can push and potentially get shots of people putting in who go into the cap. I've just got more lines of fire basically, and more choice to go from. So that's what I'm going to do. We've got the help of this STKV Swedish tank, which in front of us was absolutely an awful tank, if I'm honest with you. There's nothing really good about that tank at all. But we do have the help of this buddy here, and we're going to look to see what we can do. So from the start, I'm going to go pretty much where this light tank is in front, just in case you can actually climb this ridge, use the 10 degrees of gun depression, which we have, and potentially catch anyone out trying to progress towards us. We might be able to get some side shots, get some cheeky hesh pens. And that's where we're going to play it first. So having a little look, unfortunately it appears no one's really pushed that way, or they're not there yet. So we're going to head over to see if we can get some shots on this light tank, and as we did that, you've just seen some absolute superb driving from me, and I've just lost 200 hit points all by myself, which is pretty impressive. We missed a shot on this light tank, which is a shame because we could have penned that. But we're going to quickly trick poke, and we just got the jackpot. We've just seen a Tran side on, not completely caught unaware, and we just got 1,500 damage. It's a shame we didn't shoot. We shot that first shot of that light, because we would have just clipped out that Tran. Not that the Tran did much wrong. It just got caught out, and that's the danger of this tank. When you do catch people out like that, the Tran, we're easily going to pen with the 210 Hesh pen, because it has absolutely 0 armour. And it's just going to be the dream target, if you like. Probably even easier than targets like the S-Bahn, etc. like that. But now we're on a reload. We're going to try and create a little angle and see what we can get any shots here. We just spotted a Skoda, which is another tank we can pen. Unfortunately, that one gets caught in the tracks, but we do pen the second one. Missed the third one. And then we're looking to see if he's going to peek so we can get an extra shot. But as that happens, the light tank comes back out for a bit more action. We managed to pen the lower plate, putting us under 2,500 damage. But I'm now on a reload, so I'm relying on my team to help me out and try and take out this light tank. And thankfully for me, our friendly light tank does do the job, And yeah, now we're going to be able to safely go back on reload and see what we can do. That Skoda's still there. Obviously, the Skoda's a good target for us because it's easy to pen. We're also hoping that we can potentially get some cross shots onto the people on the opposite hill, and then maybe able to get some rear shots to again to pen with our 210 Hesh pen. You'll notice on this game I have actually got one clip of heat. I did start to do that towards the end just in case we came across some sort of heavy target, frontally tanks which are not going to be able to pen with the Hesh. As that happens, we're actually getting pushed by an E3, which is not really a tank I want to be fighting frontally, because obviously frontally we're never going to be penning with our Hesh rounds. But we do get an opportunity to get the side of this E3, then we're easily going to be able to pen with a Hesh tank. And obviously being that it's a turretless tank destroyer, we get an opportunity to flank him. We will all take that because then they're going to be able to get some easy damage into the E3. But frontally is going to be a real nuisance for us. So I'm here sort of with our friendly Swedish heavy tank on the left, just looking for shots. I'm sort of half thinking, do I need to go and help our heavies on the other side? But I can't quite gauge if they're winning that flank or not at the moment. I think they're doing okay, but you don't know because I can't see what's going on. So at this point I'm half thinking, do I go and help out? You see, now I'm thinking I'm going to check the hit points of the tanks, but then I think I don't really want to leave this Swedish tank to fight with E3 itself, because if we're both here and the E3 does push up, then I can get side shots on, or they can get side shot on depending on what one way they push. But if I leave him, then the E3 is just going to be able to push up and probably take him out, so I don't really want that to happen. Now at this point I probably would push this E3 and get into the side and take him out, but it's that Turan on the left which is stopping me from being able to do that at the moment. But I've just spotted at that time the Turan gets taken out by the Leopard PTA. The E3 I know is a shot, so now's my chance. I'm not going to hesitate. I'm going to get around the side. I'm going to jump my clips into the side which I can pen. Unfortunately I leave him on 50 hit points, but my buddy in the Swedish tank comes to help me out and finishes off the E3 for us, and that puts us on to 4,000 damage, 300 assistance, and there's only 3 tanks remaining, and judging by the positions of our friendly team on the map, it's very likely they're going to be sort of in the base area. Definitely the fun police is going to be there, so we may be able to get behind them and see if we can get any side shots. And we're just hoping to get one more clip of damage, because that's the beauty of this tank. It's just like, you could be having an okay game, but just one clip can give you almost 2,000 damage in the blink of, you can just change your game, just like that. So we're hoping to be able to get past the Swedish tanks. We're looking at this point that we're in good position to be able to get there before our friendly team do, because we've got a bit of a head start on them. So I'm just hoping that they're all full health at this point. So we come round, the artillery is only on 8 hit points, but the Swedish heavy is pretty healthy. So we're going to try and get one into the rear of the tank, which we do, pen that damage in his engine. We get a second shot in, we get a third shot in, and now we'll finish off the fun police for good measure. And that brings us an end to replay number 2. So let's see how we did. We only get the 1 kill, but we have 5,300 damage, 400 assistance, and the ace tanker. So yeah, that's it for replay number 2. 2 more to come, and I'll see you over in a second for the 3rd replay. Okay, so here we are for the 3rd replay of the video. We are on proc, we are top tier, and we are blessed that there is no fun police in the game, which makes proc a lot more enjoyable because you can use all of the ridge line. You don't have to be worried about getting shot from the sky, and then you only have to worry about what's in front of you, or what can actually shoot you. So this enemy light tank at the start of the game is just completely thrown their tank away, which is good news for us because that's one of the vision tanks gone, which is just towards the end of the game the light tanks can be a real asset on a map like proc. So if you get rid of them nice and early, it's just going to increase your chances of winning the game. So that is very helpful. So we're going to use the ridge line at the start, looking to see where we can get shots in. Now in an autoloader like this, where you kind of rely on wanting to get in the sides, catch tanks out off guard when you're shooting a full Hesh round, it's not ideal sort of being stuck on the trying to brawl with like E75s and stuff like that at the start. But hopefully towards the end of the game, when we get a little bit more freedom, we might get a better opportunity to get a clip in. But at this point, we're just looking to see, if we can get any shots in. Ideally, I'd like someone to spot the 1-2 line, so then we can get some shots in. We spotted this 704, it's side on, so we might be able to actually pen that. We do pen one of the shots. We're going to try and get another one in. Unfortunately, we do extend sort of our time on that ridge a little bit too long. We actually do get punished for it, but then we're able to get a shot into the lower plate of the check heavy, which puts us to a total of 1,000 damage. So not a too bad start. We did lose a little bit of hit points there, but we ended up getting 1,000 damage of our own. So we're okay with that. Now we're on this sort of lengthy reload. There's nowhere for us to really relocate, so what I'm doing is scanning, looking for the hit points of the tanks, just to try and get a bit of information, try and work out which tanks are where, which is always helpful for a bit later on. For example, there's that Cobra on the right, so I need to be aware of that, because obviously that thing can do a lot of damage in a short burst of time. So that's just something we've got to be aware of. Again, the only thing with the Cobra, it doesn't have the best view range. To be honest with you, the view range is pretty bad on it. So we're going to struggle to spot the 1-2 line, because there's quite often tanks sat at like A1, which at the moment I'm not getting targeted from, so maybe there isn't something there, but that is something we have to be aware of. Now this E75 is pushing, so this is my next target, because they're going to be spotting up our friendly tanks along the 1-2 line, so here's a tank I need to take care of. But I've got to be careful every time I look for shots. Obviously I might get shot by the check tank on my right, or potentially that Cobra which was there. At the moment I knew I wasn't going to pen that shot on E75, but we didn't have any better shots available to us, and we're hoping maybe if we just start shooting them, we might panic, might move, and then other tanks could potentially get a shot in and finish him off. So we're going to dump our last shell and then go back on to reload while we had no better options. And yeah, at the moment this game's fairly close. It's 12-11, so we're one tank up, but yeah, and we sort of taking a little bit of control of the map. Our enemy team have got won the hill as well, but it does get pretty hairy towards the end of the game. So we've got about 13 seconds left on our reload. We're just scanning to see if we can get any shots in. Again, I think at the moment E75 is probably my main target if I can take them out, because it's at the moment almost certainly spotting up our 1-2 line for the enemy team. That Cobra there is either a new Cobra or the Cobra has relocated from the right, so that's just a little bit of information I've got to pick up. We're looking to see if we can get a shot into that E75 at the back, but we have to extend ourselves too much to do that. But the VK is crossing. We get a nice pen into the side of the VK, which is great, but now they're turned towards us. We're going to struggle to pen them, but we're looking to see if we can. And no real easy shots. If he turns the turret to shoot something in the 1-2, then we probably will be able to pen. We go for that shot there. Unfortunately, it doesn't pen, but then the standard B gets spotted, so we're able to dump 2 in there. Unfortunately, the first one, I don't think it pens. It must have hit the gun or something like that, which is a shame, because the standard B is an easy target for us to pen. But that's put us on about 2,500 damage. And now, as the game progresses, it's going to be a little bit easier to get the shots in, because there's going to be less guns aimed in on us. We're going on a reload here. I'm surprised that VK's not spotting us when we're pushing, but I guess when we're poking, sorry, but there is quite a few bushes in the way. He's actually turning this turret at the moment, so I know if he does turn this turret, I'll be able to pen it. But the object 704 has been spotted. We can pen the lower plate, and we did pen the lower plate. But that's a nasty TD, so we're going to try and get rid of it, and we managed to shut down one of the bigger TDs, which is good. And now we're going to try and dump our hit points into that VK and go back on to reload, putting us onto about 3,500 damage. And we are now actually up on, even on the tanks. It's 8v8. I'd say it's been pretty close, all the way through this game, really. I know I've kind of sat in the same spot throughout the whole game, but there wasn't really anywhere else I needed to be. All the tanks were in front of me, so I didn't really feel the need to sort of relocate. And as the game progresses, I'm now thinking, can I make the push into the bowl? You see me sort of thinking about it then, but I sort of, as I do that, I don't want to get shot by a nasty TD at the side as I make the push. But at the same time, I do want to try and extend my vision to see if I can spot anything down the 1-2. We look for a shot into that turtle and we don't get it. and now we're just going to pull back out, and I think in a minute I do actually decide that, you know what, I am just going to go and try and take the bowl. But it's a little bit awkward because there's quite a few tanks, you know, onto the right. Each time I try and poke, I'm getting a little bit nervous. I'm going to get slapped by a TD. But we do have one friendly light tank remaining, so I'm hoping if he did push the 1-2, cleared it out, it would be a lot easier for us. But that's not happening, so I'm going to push the 1-2 myself and see if I can get in, you know, any vision down there, see what we can spot. We do spot this Cobra. We get one shot in where we fought into the Cobra. Then we thought, oh, we just hit something blind, so we go for it again, and then we actually managed to get 2 shot of blinds into a tank there, put us onto 4,000 damage, and so that was very unfortunate for that friend enemy tank, because we had no idea they were there. We were just trying to shoot that Cobra, so we can thank the Cobra for him losing those hit points. But we're back on reload now, and this is where it gets a little bit hairy. It's 5 versus 6. I can see this turtle potentially coming behind us. This is a problem because I ain't got 30 mil side armor. Thankfully for me, the turtle actually misses, but I can't turn for that turtle because this Czech heavy is looking at me at the moment. So I'm just hoping that the turtle gets taken out, and he does get taken out by the Progetto 66. Which is good for us. We've got this one-shot E75 to us, and then we've got this Czech tank on the right. So we're kind of caught in a real awkward situation here, because one of our friendly tanks on the far right of the map is just not in the fight whatsoever, and then my other 2 team tanks are just stuck in the 1-2 at the moment. So we're looking, you know, if we could take out this Czech tank, that's probably the biggest threat to me at the moment, because he's got the most awkward angle on us. Our Progetto actually gets taken out, which is a shame. We're going to see if we can take out this E75, which we just managed to do. And then we saw an opportunity to get our shots into the Czech heavy, and then we missed both shots. So in this scenario now, I probably realistically should be dead, because this Czech heavy, if he realises that I've got a 40-second reload, he could just push straight over this ridge and get both his shots into me and potentially actually take me out, because the ball sig is quite low, so he might not even be able to get a shot in, or even if he gets one shot in, he's not going to one-shot him, so he'll still have enough time to take me out. But fortunately for me, they haven't pushed me, which has allowed me to get a reload off and then give me an opportunity to try and take him out. But then this Cobra's coming behind us, and we can't have this Cobra sitting there because we're definitely going to die. But as I was looking for the kill shot, I get punished by a lot of tanks, putting me onto a one-shot. But just as I thought it was all over, we just managed to get both shots into that Czech heavy, finishing him off, putting us under 6,000 damage. And then the enemy Cobra gets taken out. So I'm thinking, yes, how have I survived that? But after all that, the one-shot charioteer comes in for me. I wanted to try and get the ram because I'm on a reload. It wasn't going to be, it wasn't quite possible. Then he bounces. I'm thinking, I was definitely going to be dead now. But we're just trying to angle the front in again, seeing if we can get a shot in. But can we get a reload? Can we get a reload? And unfortunately not. He does take us out. But what we're going to do now, I'm going to play a little bit of music while we wait for the end of this game and see if we get the W. Okay, so there we go. We do manage to pick up the win. We get 3 kills, 6,200 damage. We get the ace tank at a high caliber and about 1,000 assistance. And that brings us an end to the third replay. And we just got the one final replay to come. Okay, so here we are for the final replay of the video. It's the one where we achieved the third mark of excellence. And we are on a top tier game on Westfields with 2 enemy light tanks and 1 enemy fun police. Now at this point I believe I was relatively close to achieving the third mark of excellence, so I didn't need a humongous game. I needed about, I think if I got about around 5,000 combined damage, that should be enough to probably get me over the line for that third mark of excellence. So as always, I was, from this spawn on Westfield, I was just praying for a good cross, hoping to catch someone out and get some nice early damage on the cross, because that's going to make a big difference going for these marks of excellence if you get off on the right, foot on with these clippers, especially on the ones with the long reloads. The enemy light tank is played very aggressively. Now I really want this light tank to get punished and get taken out, and he gets absolutely slapped by the T92. And I managed to pick up a tiny bit of assistance. That assistance was clearly shared, but the most important thing is the enemy light tank is out of the game, which means I've got a better chance of being able to get some shots on the cross here. So I'm actually going to allow my team to do the spotting here, because this tank has rubbish view range. I'm going to hope our friendly light tank spots some tanks and see if we can punish them on the cross. So we're trying to get them into the E75, but the second shot goes in and sets them on fire. The third shot goes in and sets them on fire again. So that poor old E75 didn't have a very good time of it there, but it did mean we managed to pick up 1,600 damage at the start of the game. So that we're on the right foot now to achieve the third mark of excellence. It's always nice when that happens. Now I'm looking at the map, I'm looking where the enemy team is. We don't have a lot of control on the ridge at the back, and I'm just going to abandon that and go and help my team fight in the north on the hills, because I'm thinking that's probably going to be my best shot of getting some more damage out of the game. I'm just looking to see if we can take out the E75 first, but that actually gets taken out now, and it's at this point I think it's now time to try and there's lots of hit points over here. I might be able to poke the ridge and try and catch something out, get some side shots on one that distracted, and see what we can do. The only real, the biggest concern for us is obviously the enemy fun police, but there's only one at least, and we just got to deal with that and try and do our best to, not get shot by the enemy artillery. You can't always control that, but we're going to have to try and go to this ridge and see what we can do. So we're checking on the hit points of the enemy team, checking what's there as we approach. We're hoping we might be able to use this ridge to try and get side shots into E75. Obviously there is going to be other enemy tanks there. As that happens, we get this light tank cross. Unfortunately we fluff our shot on the light tank, which is a shame, because that would have been a pen if we was able to hit, but partly just bad aiming there, to be honest with you. I could have probably aimed a little bit better. I didn't predict correctly. But hopefully we're going to get another opportunity to get a shot into light tank, but we missed that, and then we missed the third, and then we hit the fourth, but we don't pen. So to be honest, that was a pretty terrible clip by me, and we only managed to pick up a tiny bit of extra damage before we go on that really long reload. But we're just going to have to keep moving. There's no point sitting still spotted while we're on that reload, because obviously then there's got a chance of getting hit by the artillery. We've got about 15 seconds left before we can see if we can get any more shots in. Our only friendly light tank has gone straight over, distracting some few tanks, and I'm going to take that opportunity to see if I can get behind this tortoise, because I know while he's full health I can actually farm those hit points if I get behind him just like this, getting our full shots in, setting them on fire, and actually picking up pretty much, I think we might have even picked up all 2,000 hit points off of that tortoise there, or pretty much anyway, most of it, which has put us on to 3,700 damage, almost 4,000 combined. So I probably only need to pick up another 1,000 damage, and I suspect that'll be enough to do the third mark of excellence. So this enemy 260 is pretty much on full hit points. I'm thinking this is good. I'll be able to get, take a shot, get behind, get in the rear, dump my clip and get my damage. Unfortunately, our team is wolf packed him and the damage has quickly disappeared, and we wasn't able to pick up any shots, but at least we did bounce a shot off of them, so we didn't eat anything in return. But that's a shame, because that could have been the third mark of excellence just right there if we managed to clip out that tank. But it wasn't to be, and at this point is where it almost goes completely wrong for us. We're pushing to try and get to a better position, to try and get a few shots in, and then we get caught out by the worst thing that could happen. The Foch is there, and I'm thinking at this point I'm dead. This is why I'm just snapshotting my shots in, because I didn't think I was going to get another opportunity. Fortunately, they don't kill me, and then Jesus is completely with us there, because I think we just bounced like a 700 alpha shot off of our turret, which would have killed us. And yeah, it would have ended our game and would have meant we'd had to play a few more games to get the third mark of excellence. But thankfully, yeah, Jesus is with us. We do survive that. Very, very, very almost got caught out by that Foch. Thankfully, we didn't, but it has left us a little bit broken. We've only got 500 hit points left, which means we can't eat the trade in, which I was hoping to be able to do, and it's going to make the game a little bit more harder for us now. We do still have a friendly light tank in the game, so I'm hoping that maybe he can go and spot that Foch for us, but he's actually, by the looks of it, on the other side of the map, so that's not going to be possible. The enemy still have their fun police, and our one has been destroyed. And at this point, I'm never going to outspot a Foch, because the camo is really good and my view range is really bad. We're just scanning to see what hit points that Udes had, and unfortunately he's only got 1 hit points. And at this point, while I'm going for my third marks, I'm only really interested in that damage, if I'm honest, and that's not going to really, not going to give us a lot. 1 hit point's not going to make a lot of difference. So we're just hoping that our friendly heavy was moving up. So we're just hoping he might actually spot the Foch, or that Foch might fire, reducing their camo, and then we're able to get a shot in. And at this point, I think maybe the Foch is pushed back, and I can see him there. He does get lit up. He's behind the ridge at the moment, so I was thinking about going and see if we can catch him off guard. But I thought, if I do get lit there, I don't know where the other tanks are, so I'll probably get caught out. So I'm thinking maybe I'll take a position on this ridge on the right, and I might be able to get some shots from above down onto the Foch from a safer angle. Because I think it still has like 800 odd hit points left or something like that. And we might be able to, that could make our game if we got the shots in there to pick up off of that Foch. Unfortunately, as we made our advance to our position, it has now got undetected, and I'm going to really struggle to actually spot that Foch. Like I say, it does have bad, view range, but the Foch does get detected because it fired, so it lost its camo value. Now I should be aiming to the right here at that cupola, because I actually only got 1 of those in. But it did put us onto 5,600 damage, and now I'm thinking maybe I've already achieved the third mark of excellence, but if we just get 1 more pen, then that's definitely going to be enough. So we're going to push a little bit forward while we're on a reload, get a little bit closer to the damage, because it is 5-3 now, and my enemy team are going to be closing in on this damage now from the other side of the map. But we still got 12 seconds left on our reload before we can push any further, and we get detected by the enemy light tank. We do manage to get back into cover and using this rock to try and keep ourselves safe, trying to reverse up the cliff. They only have 19 hit points left on the light tank, so most of the damage is going to be from this Foch now, because the E75 has got back. The light tank's not really going to offer us anything else, so we're going to try and push a little bit forward to try and see if we can get to this Foch. We are detected, we got out spotted. We're trying to use this map order to keep us safe, because it's bound to be hit round there on the right. We snapshot the first one in, then we decided to actually aim our shot, and we pick up the kill, putting us onto 5,000 damage. And then we just got this 1 enemy light tank remaining, but we do manage to miss both our shots. And we're not going to be able to take him out now. We've got a 40-second reload before he gets taken out by our friendly team. But he does get taken out, I believe, by this AMX, and that brings us an end to the video. So let's just see how we got on. We got 2 kills, 5,000 damage, 1,700 block. It is only the first class, but we do pick up the third mark of excellence. So as always, thank you so much for your support, thank you so much for watching, and happy tanking.
Enemy in sight! Hadouken!